Hey guys, Patrick Riddle here with MustKnowInvesting.com, your source for creative real estate investing tips, tools, and techniques. Welcome. I'm happy to be bringing you part 5 of our How to Become a CIA Creative Real Estate Investing series. Part 5 is Deal Structuring 101, and I have 2 primary lessons for you today. Lesson number 1, why it's all about the numbers, and also a deadly trap that you must avoid. Lesson number 2 is I'm going to let you in on the most underutilized, blatantly ignored killer strategy for structuring great deals, and it's right under your nose. So let's dive right in. All right, first, why it's all about the numbers. There are 4 key numbers for you to know in every deal that you look into and analyze. And go ahead and write these down as I go through them as we do this first lesson here. Number 1, what does the seller owe on the property? That is vitally important to know for you to begin the process as a CIA, as a creative investing architect, to structure a deal. I've found that the best question to elicit this information from a seller is ask them. You've already built some rapport, asked them a little bit about the property, and then to transition into this financial information, into what they owe, ask, Mr. Seller, is there a mortgage? Is there a mortgage on the property? And I found that that's a good lead-in to this information. Typically they'll say yes. Most people do not own their home free and clear. And so then I say, oh, okay, well, what's the approximate balance on that mortgage? And I use the word approximate just to get a ballpark there. And I found that that's a good in to getting that information. And typically you are going to need to be negotiating directly with the seller to get this kind of information. If you're dealing through agents listed property, it's really not conducive to creative deal structuring, which is what we're all about here. So figure out a way to get sellers calling you so that you can negotiate with them and get all this good information. So you've got to find out what they owe on the property. 2, the next number that you need to know is a conservative estimate for the after repaired value. And you can do this by contacting a real estate agent, building a relationship with them to have them help you evaluate the properties if it were in excellent condition. You can use websites like Cyberhomes or Zillow.com. Those can give you a good estimate. But basically, you want to have a conservative estimate of what the property's worth in excellent condition. That's what you're after. The next number, the third number you need with any deal, is you want to overestimate what the repairs will cost in the property. And I say overestimate just to be conservative in your numbers in your deal to make sure you're doing good deals. So you need to basically get a repair estimate of what it would cost to get the house in excellent condition, to get the property in perfect condition, and overestimate, build in a little buffer there, and then and that's the number you'll use as far as repairs that are needed. The fourth number that you need is you need to know what constitutes a good deal for you. So what percentage of value do you have to be able to buy a property at for it to make sense, for it to be a good deal? Or if you're a wholesaler, if you're just looking to sell this deal to another investor, then of course you would need to buy it low enough to leave profit in the deal for them. So ultimately that fourth number, you just need to know what percentage of value makes sense for you. A lot of the gurus out there say to buy it at least 65% of value or below. So with these 4 numbers, what they owe, conservative estimate of what it's worth in perfect shape, your repair estimate, and then what percentage of value you have to buy at for it to make sense, that's what you use initially. Those are all the need-to-know numbers in the deal. Now, Here's a big lesson. This is a dangerous trap that you must avoid. You cannot get emotionally attached to a property or a seller's situation. When you're dealing with motivated sellers, a lot of times they have tough situations, and when analyzing and structuring any deal, it has to be about the numbers, period. So, leave emotion out of this. Real estate investing is business. So we're not looking to do people favors here. You just analyze the numbers, make your offers. If the numbers make sense, great. If they don't, move on. So, that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 was I wanted to let you in on the most underutilized, blatantly ignored deal structuring strategy, this killer. And this is what it is. Here's a question for you. When buying a property, does someone have to finance it? Yes. The answer is yes, they do. Either you have to finance it with your own cash, or you're going to have to finance it in some other manner, with a loan from something else. If either you're putting in the cash or someone else is putting it up for you. So, with that said, as a CIA, as a creative investing architect, the first person that we approach for financing in every deal that we do is the seller. The seller. That's who we approach. Now, why is that? Well, because sellers are one of the easiest places in the universe to get a loan. Believe it or not, most people don't even think about that. But they are can be incredibly flexible with their rate and terms. It's not uncommon to structure seller financing and get a loan at 0%. Basically, just decide what you'll pay them, and then you pay them that over time, and once it's paid off, you're done. It's not uncommon to get a 0% loan. It's not uncommon to negotiate a loan that doesn't have any payments. Maybe it's just due when you sell the property or on down the road. So sellers are an incredible place to start structuring your deal and to look for financing, quote unquote. You can truly maximize your returns and minimize your risk by doing it this way. And most of the time, you're going to need cash to do the deal, some amount of cash. Closing cost and repair and holding costs, that sort of thing. So depending on what you can work out with the seller, for whatever cash is needed to do the deal, then that's where you get that's where private money comes into play, or cash in your pocket. But last week's part 4, I gave 37 must-know tips to getting private money easily. So once you put the private money piece to work for you and couple it with this strategy of first seeking the seller to finance your deal, it's amazing. And you can literally get into properties, purchase them with little to none of your own money, if that's what you're looking for. And which you can truly maximize your returns by going this route. So here's a quick action list, because first off, you've got to be negotiating with sellers directly. So you got to kick off that marketing plan. Head back to part 2 and make sure you download the marketing resource that we gave you. That was the part on negotiating. And you may want to brush up on that, because that negotiating lesson and this deal structuring lesson go hand in hand. So download that marketing call, listen to it, study it, put a marketing plan in motion, get seller leads coming in. Then analyze, find out all the must-know, need-to-know numbers in the deal so that you know what you can offer, and then seek first through your seller to finance the deal. That's what CIAs do. That's what it's all about. If you have any questions, email me, patrick@mustknowinvesting.com, or put them in the comment area below. Patrick Riddle. I'll see you next week for part 6. Have a good one.